May 15th. Now, this is an interesting story. Lethal Weapon 3. I live in Lakeland, and there was a building in Orlando, which is about 45 minutes away, that they were going to demolish. And the makers of Lethal Weapon 3 said, hey, can we film it? Can we demolish it for the movie? And so they came over here and shot the opening scene of Lethal Weapon 3, where this big building blows up. And, seeing Orlando on screen was about the only exciting thing about watching Lethal Weapon 3. For whatever reason, for me, hang on, you can defend it. For whatever reason, for me, Lethal Weapon 3 feels like the most lifeless of all the Lethal Weapon movies. And this is coming from me, who likes number 4.
Right. I know I'm going to be the one lone defender of Lethal Weapon 3 on this panel, so I'll just say that I defend it. Obviously, it is not in the league of 1 and 2, but I do think it's a good movie. It's kind of for me, I hold it up as, how do you define the summer of '92? I hold up Lethal Weapon 3. It is a disposable, well-made, piece of product entry into a series that gets the job done. It's what it does. Lethal Weapon 2 is the same thing as Lethal Weapon 3, but there's a little extra in Lethal Weapon 2. You can't really put your finger on it, but Lethal Weapon 2 goes a little extra mile. Lethal Weapon 3 does not. So it just gets the job done.
Having just rewatched it, I thought it was a complete waste of time, just like the first one was. The second one was a little bit better. It's really the only one in the series that I like. I thought that the comedy in it, which is mostly comedy, it's not even, the action is secondary to the comedy. It feels badly improvised. Doesn't really feel like it's really written. There's for instance, the whole scene in the first, the whole thing in the first scene where they're faced with defusing a bomb, and there's that boring cliched joke of which thing are we going to cut, the red wire or the blue wire. And it's so boring, I can't even stand it. And the writing isn't even there. There's there's no really funny back and forth that a 5-year-old couldn't come up with.
I will. This is my defense, and I will point this out. And usually, I'll get a grudging acknowledgement of this. Okay, if we can acknowledge that Lethal Weapon 2, that movie was about Mel Gibson. He gets mad. He finds out who killed his wife. They kill his girlfriend, and he gets mad. And the last act of Lethal Weapon 2 is Mad Mel killing everyone in Africa, killing all the African racists. Okay, so that's the arc of Lethal Weapon 2. Lethal Weapon 3, the best stuff in it is Danny Glover when he shoots a kid in defense. And he goes through a crisis of conscience, and he gets mad, and he starts going around and kicking ass, taking names, because he wants to get the guns off the street. That's the stuff in the movie that really gives it its charge, and that's the stuff I do like in the movie. The scene on the boat between the two of them, that's a well done dramatic scene. So that's the stuff that I grasp onto when I watch Lethal Weapon 3. So it's that stuff.
I just didn't. I didn't find it compelling at all. But that's the way I feel about the entire series.
And once again, like, bring this up real quick on the cultural context front. This film was like, this was just going to be a big time summer release. Everyone's going to go see it. No one was going to, we're all going to see it. We're going to have our popcorn. We're all going to enjoy it and forget about it 2 hours after we finish seeing it. But being released literally 3 weeks after the riots. This was a big hot button movie for a moment because here was this movie where we had 2 LA cops, granted racially mixed cops, as heroes, and it gets something like, you know what, I really am not in the mood to see this right now.
That was very true. That was
that's
a
interesting.
big controversy.
Yeah. You know what? I rank them for my personal favorites 2, 1, 4, 3. 3 doesn't even have a very good villain.
I acknowledge
the problem,
that.
I think. Yeah.
Well, and also there's something about Danny Glover, and this is Danny Glover through all the Lethal Weapon movies. There's something about him that really annoys me, and he will like narrate what he's doing as he's doing it.
Yeah.
Like in the first Lethal Weapon. In the first Lethal Weapon, he looks up and he sees a video cassette, and he's like, "Oh, what is this? Oh, let me put this in the machine. Let me press play. What am I looking at?" And it's showing like a boat. It's like the most unnecessary exposition that informs a lot of his performance. It's befuddling to me, but anyway.
It doesn't feel like
okay.
they have the writers have anything for him, so they just have him doing that.
Well, Lethal Weapon 2, they give him it's like one of the greatest ADR lines ever, and to explain the whole plot, when literally they have Danny Glover say on voiceover, he's like, "Riggs, I looked it up. The Owl of Art is not a woman, it's a ship. It came in from Africa with all this money, and it's going out tonight." And literally, they just they put Danny Glover in a booth, like, "Hey, you got to read these 5 lines because we got to tell the audience why y'all are going to the docks." And we can't have Mel do it because Mel's pissed throughout the whole movie. So we need you to do the dialogue.